I'm going to tab over to this screen, and you can see some of the prep that I do have. Now, quick couple of shout-outs just to get everything above board. This background I got from NASA's website. Fantasy Flight Games, who makes Edge of the Empire, has this handy little guide for how to play Edge of the Empire and read the dice correctly. So I ripped that off. And then our roll table areas were made by Birch Mila. So we've got some halfling work here, which I quite like, and I need to move it to the map layer because I'm a dingus and didn't do that. But yeah, this is our playfield, if you will, for Edge of the Empire. And this is what the character sheet looks like. Now, I'm sure there's a lot here that doesn't make sense to you guys. And we're going to be going over all of this. We're going to be going over characters. We're going to be going over, like, Star Wars in general, the characters that we're playing, the overarching story, all of that stuff. We're going to get to that basically right now. So let's do that, shall we? So first of all, we've got Kugazil. We've got Shoshe Sal.
Show for short, if that's easier.
It would be much easier, thank you. Show. Yeah. And we've got... which one of these is yours, Jogath?
Which one do you remember is mine?
I don't.
Mando Calrissian.
Mando Calrissian, okay. It's a placeholder name, if anybody is wondering. But very obviously you can see some theming in what we're doing. And because the game is called The Way, I'm just going to get right into the premise. And the premise is this. Disney recently came out with a 2-season epic, let's call it what it is, called The Mandalorian, following the life and times of, and I am a terrible Star Wars fan, what is his name, Bader?
I believe it's Din Djarin.
Thank you. And as probably more people know, Baby Yoda. But it's a space western. It's a western.
Who also has an official name.
Yes, but that one's a spoiler.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I will refer to him as Baby Yoda. But the point is, it follows like what the Mandalorians have been up to in the days after the fall of the Empire. It follows specifically Jin's like whole thing, and what captivated me about it was two things, and they're very, very obvious if you look at the name of this story that I'm going to be telling. The first is this apocryphal concept, this set of rules that the Mandalorians seem to follow called The Way, and the whole aspect of these hidden coverts of Mandalorians just existing, like, out in the Outer Rim and beyond. I thought that was fascinating, and I wanted to play Edge of the Empire really badly, so I'm taking those concepts, and since they're not super heavily built on, I'm gonna take some artistic license, and I'm gonna tell my version of a Mando story. This is not The Mandalorian. This is not anything involving Jin or Baby Yoda. This is not involving anything from the show except the concept of a covert and the concept of The Way. Everything else is either Star Wars canon shown through the lens of the Sharp-Eyed Kitsune or bullshit I made up on my own. So that's basically where we are. All of our characters, all of our heroes are Mandalorians, but even though we don't have, Jedi and smugglers and commandos and all this other stuff, although I would argue that we have commandos, we can still adopt the Edge of the Empire system, which is a really, really cool system. It is... I don't want to say it's a D20 system, because it's not, but it's like... It's not a D10 system either. It's like a... I would say the die you use the most is a D6, so I guess it's a D6 system, but it also...
I think you use a D8 more.
D8 system, but it is wholly its own. Now, arguably, this is to make money, so that Fantasy Flight Games can sell their proprietary dice with the special Edge of the Empire symbols on them, and I don't disagree with that. However, the dice are fucking cool, and, you know, they have the handy-dandy little guide that I have down here, as well as a guide printed in the Edge of the Empire books to convert standard numbered dice to their system, which I think is great. But you can get the Star Wars dice if you want to. It is a offshoot of the Genesis system, which I believe is also Fantasy Flight Games, but I could be wrong about that. That uses very, very similar systems. The difference being, the Edge of the Empire system uses Star Wars symbols for the big successes and the big failures, whereas the Genesis system uses something a bit more generic, obviously. So we're going to be taking a look at the system. I'm gonna be talking people through it. Vader's gonna be talking people through it, and we're gonna be talking about, like, the concept of our Star Wars story. Now, speaking personally for a minute here, I want to say that I'm a bad Star Wars fan. I'm not speaking for anybody else at the table. I'm not speaking for anybody in this community. I'm speaking purely for myself. I am a terrible Star Wars fan. And I say that because if your name is Skywalker, I automatically do not give a shit about your story. I don't care. I don't like Luke. I don't like Anakin. I don't like Rey. I don't like any, the mainline Star Wars movies I do not enjoy. And I never have. I just... Darth Vader is okay, I guess, but I like him better as a plot device than a character. Emperor Palpatine is funny sometimes, but he wears very quickly. Don't even get me started on Jar Jar Binks. Like, the best thing about the mainline 9 Star Wars movies, to me, has always been Padme Amidala. Like, I like her character. I like the way her plot things go. I like the Senate shenanigans she gets up to. But, and that's not me shitting on the prequels. I just don't like any of those mainline Star Wars movies. However, the Star Wars that I do like is the peripheral stuff. I would argue that Solo is probably my favorite Star Wars movie. I think Solo is awesome. I think Donald Glover does a fantastic job as young Lando. I really like The Mandalorian. I really like Jedi Fallen Order. I enjoyed the Old Republic MMO. I've read several books, some in the true canon, some in Legends. The Clone Wars TV series I quite like. Rebels is okay. I don't dislike it, certainly.
There is a lot behind the scenes.
Yes, certainly. But that's the Star Wars that I like, and that's the Star Wars that I'm going to be drawing from. So, odds are very, very high that during this story, you're not going to see a single lightsaber. You're probably not going to see anybody use the Force, but if you do, it's sure as hell not going to be a Skywalker, because I don't care. So, I'm not telling that story. My favorite stories to tell and to consume are the smaller stories. And that's a little bit difficult to do in the galaxy far, far away, but there are still people dealing with personal problems, eking out their own living, telling these smaller stories that don't involve blowing up Alderaan. So that's where we're going to be. We're still going to be rooted firmly in Star Wars, again, my version of Star Wars, but it's going to be much smaller scale. I have 2 planets in mind, which you might immediately be like, oh, that's galaxy hopping. Yes, it is. But in the Star Wars setting, that's small. That's very small. I've got maybe 10 characters, none of whom are hugely impactful. And I have no plans to have Darth Vader show up. And I will say this, if I ever plan to have Darth Vader show up, these guys are fucked. Like, like there is no getting around that. Like, I am firmly of the opinion that if Darth Vader shows up, you are either toast or the Emperor. Again, Darth Vader is best when he's a plot device. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Boba's gone toe to toe with Vader,
Yeah.
but
Yes,
yeah, I get what you mean.
Boba has gone toe to toe with Vader.
If
But-
anything, I think Mandalorians could make an escape. At the very
Yes,
least.
certainly. But I don't intend for you guys to go to Mustafar, so it's kind of a moot point. Also, isn't Vader dead by now?
This is taking place
After
after the second Death Star, right?
Yes, it's taking
So,
place
yeah.
after the second Death Star. So yeah, Vader's dead. So Vader's probably not going to show up. But I'm also not going to have the first. Well, actually, now thinking about it, the First Order might be interesting. But again, digress. Smaller stories. I like-
When it takes place. Remnant.
I like this. Chat says Darth Vader is the Star Wars equivalent of a Tarrasque. Yes,
Yeah, kinda.
and he should be.
Yeah.
Like, the most, like, Imperial thing that we're gonna deal with is, like, I might have some Death Troopers, but I'm probably not gonna have an Inquisitor. Also, like, I don't think anybody in the party is Force sensitive. That's another thing that you guys should know about my Star Wars story. The Force is dumb. Well, okay, that's not completely fair. The two religions around the Force are dumb.
No, the Force is dumb too.
Yeah.
Like
Ultimate
the
MacGuffin,
overarching,
whenever you need it to.
overarching force. God, bad word choice, but like the overarching force that surrounds the galaxy and strives for balance. Yeah, it's dumb.
Are you talking about the three deific entities from Clone Wars?
No, I'm talking
Because those were
about
cool.
Force as its entire existence
Oh,
within the
you're
galaxy.
you're saying the concept of the living Force, the entity, quote unquote entity that is the Force, it is itself not very smart. I agree with you.
Yeah.
But what I meant was, I don't like the Jedi and I don't like the Sith. I think they're both stupid. So, like, if I'm gonna do Force stuff, it's not gonna be that. Which, again, Star Wars sacrilege, but hi.
This is why I think you'd really like the story of Knights of the Old Republic too.
I probably would. I just can't handle the gameplay.
Yeah, I get that.
But regardless, we're gonna be playing some Mandos, and we're gonna be, of all things, I was inspired to do the story by a game called The Last Guardian. So you're gonna see some influences from that in this Mando story. But yeah, we're gonna be exploring, like, what the way is, and we're gonna be just exploring, like, what it means to our characters as they go about setting up a covert. That's the story that we're here to tell. And yeah, so as you can see, immediate, like, direct departure from the Mandalorian TV show, if you've seen that, where the covert, like, vanishes and Jin has nothing to do with that. Like, here, like, the players are going to be directly involved in setting up that covert. So what do we need? We need a leader, we need, like, an organizer, we need people who can fulfill jobs, and we need a location. Enter the players. So right off the bat, let's talk about who is playing what. And I really want to start at the top, and that means I'm looking directly at you, Kuga.
What? No, don't look at me.
So, like, what kind of Mandalorian has inspired you?
If I'm being honest, there isn't really a Mandalorian that inspired Kuga. It was more of...
I meant Cookie, but go on.
Oh, well, I mean, nothing inspired Cookie, but what inspired Kuga is the idea of I have never in any kind of fantasy game been like the driver, the pilot, or anything like that.
Okay.
And I wanted to get that experience. And, most Mandalorians are a little more mechanically inclined and are decent enough pilots, but what about the guys that are like quote unquote ace pilots?
Right. So you would be the Mando equivalent of like an X-wing pilot.
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm into it. But as I understand it, you're also doing another bit.
Yes, I'm, in addition to being the de facto pilot, I suppose you could say, he's also taking influence from the armorer from the Mandalorian, being someone who can outfit the covert with weapons or armor or the such.
As well as like the spiritual leader.
Yeah.
So the responsibility of forming this new covert rests squarely on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So you'll have to like find a planet and pick your team and set it up, and there's going to be some trials and tribulations along the way, and that's the other like crux of this story, which is our Mandos. Most of them are on the younger side, even if they're not like young Mandos. They're younger, and their whole thing is learning what the way is and how to apply it. And each of them will have like their struggles, and I'm not going to sit here and I'm going to be like, hey, what are you struggling with in the way? Like, we want that to show at the table when we tell the story, but we've got our pilot armorer here who's going to try to keep everybody else in line. Now, I have is your character sheet ready, Cook?
It's for the most part.
Okay. Could I trouble you to work with me tonight or between sessions, whatever, for the leader of the old covert and get them fleshed out? Your mentor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we'll need to get that situated. We'll circle back to you in a minute.
Sounds good.
So Show, who are you in the Mandoverse?
Show is I guess you could say, born and bred Mandalorian.
Okay. So when you say that, I immediately think Jango Fett, Sabine. I always get them backwards. Sabine is the Duchess?
Yes.
That's not who I meant to say. I meant to say Satine, the artist. Like when you say born and bred Mandalorian, like there's a thing that comes into mind.
No, Satine is the Duchess.
Satine is
My
the
bad.
Duchess. Sabine is
Okay.
right. Okay, so I was right. Yes, so like when you say like born and bred Mandalorian, I think of like, you know, the Mando characters who act like Mandos, right? Like, again, Jango, Boba, arguably,
Yeah.
Jin to a degree. Who's the? I almost called her Marasov. That is not her name. That's from Destiny. Who's the spunky redhead with the headband who almost shoots Jin in the face?
Is that Bo-Katan Kryze?
Bo-Katan. That's it.
Oh, okay. One moment.
Like, she's who I think of when I think of like Mando. Is that pretty accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
So anyways, Show is... I was inspired by some other characters from Star Wars adjacent stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In Knights of the Old Republic 2, there is a younger Mandalorian. His name's simply Kelborn.
Okay.
He's young, impulsive, glory-seeking, doesn't really understand why the Jedi beat the Mandalorians' asses, and he doesn't respect it.
I mean, I don't either, so he ain't special.
Yeah.
Go on.
After the ancient Mandalorian Wars, a lot of the Mandalorians simply accepted the fact that they lost and became stronger for it.
Okay.
Because that's the Mandalorian way.
Right.
Kelborn doesn't get that. Sho doesn't get that.
So Sho harbors a grudge against the Jedi? Like,
not particularly, but it's more like she doesn't really understand that concept of, like, doesn't matter win or lose as long as you become stronger for it.
I see. So Sho probably dislikes the covert lifestyle.
Yeah.
She strikes me... She?
Yes.
Strikes me as, like, the type who's, like, shown themselves too often and has to be, like, physically removed by other Mandalorians for, like, risking the covert.
I don't think she'd risk the covert like that.
I don't think she'd do it on purpose. I don't think she'd do it on purpose.
Yeah.
I just think she'd find herself in a situation like I mean, hell, Jin did. Jin found himself in a situation where the Mandos had to step in, like.
Yeah.
So, I can see like that being a thing with Sho. Maybe not to that degree. Maybe not like, you know, jetpacking over the building and blowing the shit out of the Bounty Hunters Guild. But like, I can see like Sho, like, not being able to let something lie, revealing themselves at the wrong time, getting into an argument, and then like two like bulky Mandos show up and like drag her away, right? Like,
yeah.
But what do you think?
I like where you're going with that. Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
But yes, she is both the sharpshooter and the medic of the group.
Ooh. Interesting.
So she'll be hanging back until like someone gets hurt and she needs to run in.
Like the bad guys. So if you're going to be hanging back, I have to ask, does that mean that you've got that awesome rifle?
Oh, yes. We pulled a few strings and we got Sho a version of Din Djarin's Ambin Phase Pulse Blaster Rifle.
Yes, we did.
It is a disruptor rifle.
I have no regrets. None. That is just gun porn of the highest quality.
Highly destructive, highly illegal.
and we gave it to the sassy child. Nice.
So, you know, nothing could go bad.
All right. Cool. So, for you then, help me come up with, like... We'll be going over, like, show-specific abilities, sure, but, like, help me come up with, like, your handler, so to speak. Like, somebody in the covert that can be, like, Sho, and Sho, like, backs off. Right?
I guess.
And
I haven't thought about that, really.
I mean, that's the point of Session 0, friend.
Yeah.
Jogath.
Yes.
You've been busy, and that's okay. What inspires you about Star Wars? And what kind of character are you playing?
Oh boy, what's about Star Wars?
Yeah.
I just like that it's a space western because I love westerns, and so making it like a sci-fi version of that is always just good times.
Absolutely.
And the person I make, he's not super super young, not super old, but he's very gung ho about the way and almost zealot like, because he's just like, oh man, I grew up with this is so great. And I basically took the idea of, what if heavy weapons guy was in Star Wars?
Oh no! So you're that big Mando that Jin got into an argument with.
One that's got like a chain gun strapped to his back at all times.
Fuck yes. Do you like? I'm just gonna say this right now. Do you have a riot shield? Because you need a riot shield.
I was thinking about that, but I like the other thing better, where he was gonna get shot gloves. So if he got in the melee range, he'd basically like grab someone like a chokehold and then shock him while he's holding
Put the
on
shot glove in the riot shield, and then you have the riot shield in front of you. You walk forward, you throw your hand back, grab the guy, and shock him.
Give him the old boop.
Give him the old boop, indeed. So, are you going like heavy weapons generally doesn't only mean machine guns; it means ordnance.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you gonna be chucking bombs around as well?
I was looking into that because, as far as I know, we don't really have a big demo, like demolitionist.
I don't think so. I think Squeaky's playing a slicer.
Because I know what I was going to do with it. It was basically, he's just like the big front line. Hey, everybody, look at me, while he's, giant cannoning somebody and keeping everything at bay while everyone else picks off stuff.
Your Mando could probably pick up that turret that Jin used a few times.
What, the E-Web?
Yeah, like I imagine Joe's character could pick that thing up. Go on.
Maybe not an E-Web. Probably the smaller one in the earlier episode.
Yeah, the smaller one.
Yeah.
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. You right.
You have a big enough gun, everything is possible.
So are you gonna grab the demo as well?
I just might, as like a side thing. If not, he's just going to have a really big gun with a lot of area spray to take down as many people as he can.
So what I'm hearing is I need to send like a massive swarm of mooks at you and just let you reenact that scene from the Mines of Moria.
Mm-hmm. Just all
right.
All down like dominoes.
Cool. Now you need some help with your character sheet. So I think if it's cool with you, we'll use you as an example of like how to build a character for this session 0, and you can fill your thingus in as we go.
Sure.
So first thing is we need to do Destiny. We need to be in the habit of doing Destiny because at the start of every session, we need to roll Destiny because this system uses fate points, which is fun. You guys get some, and I get some, and then what happens is, as you use one, it goes to the other side. So, they're useful. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Vader, that's just advantage, right?
It upgrades the check.
It upgrades the check. Okay. So, how do we generate Destiny?
Every player, not the GM, will roll Destiny, which is a D12.
Which is a D12. Okay.
It's on the character sheet near the Destiny pool. It says roll Destiny.
Ah, perfect. So, go ahead and roll that. Roll Destiny. Oof, okay. Oh, thanks, guys!
Wow.
Thanks, guys! You're the best! So I get 4 points. Luckily, this is session 0. So, not too much is gonna happen, but it's good to be in the habit of doing that. But also, lol? So, that's a thing. But yeah, so other than that, you see... we see a dice pool at the top. This is really cool because I can use my sheet, which is almost identical to everybody else's. But to modify their rolls. So, for instance, right now, Joe doesn't have any skills put in on his character sheet, but he does still have 1 green in basically everything. Now, if I add a boost die, which is blue, boop, and then sync it, that should mean... Oh, no, that was refresh. My bad. So do that, and then force player update. There we go. Now, if Joe rolls, let's say, athletics, he should be rolling with a boost. Let's see if that worked. It did work.
Yeah.
As you can see there, 1 blue, 1 green. So I can modify their dice rolls on the fly. Instead of saying, like, hey, the DC for this check is 12, I can be like, cool, so you get a boost from somebody helping you, and you get 2 setbacks because of the difficulty, and then I could just click the update, and then they can roll that way. So this is how I will be finagling the dice. Let's talk a little bit about what these symbols mean. So down here, you can see that they were awesome, and they generated 4 dark side points for me. Technically, the GM is dark side. So that's pretty dope. And then we've got a little POW symbol is a success, and a little chevron is failure. The symbol here is advantage. What that means is you don't get what you want, but circumstances change. And this game runs heavily on degrees of success and degrees of failure. And then threat is the opposite. Things change against the person making the roll. And for the record, advantage of threat applies to me too. If I make a roll and I get 3 threat, that's kind of the same thing as the PCs getting 3 advantage. And then triumph, which is basically a crit, and despair, which is, a crit fail. So I'm going to go ahead and reset the pool for everybody.
Yeah. Each triumph and despair also counts as a success or failure.
Correct. So that's pretty cool. And then we have ability die, which is green, difficulty die, which is purple. They're both D8s. We got the force die, which is the D12. Proficiency die, which means you're really good at a thing, which is also a D12. Challenge die, which means something is very difficult, which is also a D12. And then boosts and setbacks, both D6s, which are just like minor alterations for and against. If somebody takes the help action, like, hey, I'm going to help you confer advantage like you would in 5th edition, it's just a boost die in this, depending on their skill, but usually it's just a boost die. So it's quite a fun little system and pretty easy to work with. Now, as far as character gen goes, I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit out of my depth because I've been doing a lot of stuff in the background, and I apologize for that, but Vader knows how to do it, so I'm gonna hand the mic over to you, and let's walk Jogath, and chat for that matter, through character creation. Let's set up this heavy. I assume you're not going to keep the name Mando Calrissian. It's a great name, don't get me wrong, but I assume you're going to get something a little bit more thematic.
Maybe.
Fair dues.
It'll be Mando Skywalker. There you
Oh,
go. Just
fuck.
No relation. It's just complete random happenstance.
No relation. His name is just Skywalker. God, that's how
he gets sick and tired of getting shit from everybody for that.
That's how you get shot.
I do want to mention one thing about Destiny, real quick.
Yeah.
Each time a player or the GM uses a Destiny point, it flips side.
Yeah, I said that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, if I use a Destiny point, it goes up here, and then when you guys use one, it comes back down. Yeah, I did say that, but feel free to reiterate it. Like, it's not a big deal at all.
Okay.
So let's go over character gen. So I see wounds, strain, defense, encumbrance, and force rating. I do not see strength, dex, con, int, wiz, ka.
That's under characteristics. Brawn, agility, intellect, cunning, willpower, and presence.
Where is characteristics?
Should be right under those derived stats: wounds, strain, defense. It's, you gotta click on the skills tab, I think.
Yes, it's in the skills tab.
Found it. brawn, agility, intellect, cunning, willpower, and presence. Okay, so I can pretty much assume at a guess what those are. And then it looks like out from each skill is what the ability modifies it. So I'm assuming then we have a pool with which to build these numbers?
You have experience with which to increase your stats.
Okay.
All of these are derived from your race.
Which, Joe, do you know what race you're playing?
It was torn between Transdojan or Wookiee.
Wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
The lizard dudes are Wookiees?
Because those are the least amount of points I have to invest my two best skills into.
Fair enough. I'm trying to imagine what a Transdojan and Mandalorian armor would look like.
It's like the Transdojan in normal armor, but it's a lot more shiny.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair.
It might be a little unfitting. Or
unless he has custom-made armor, which they seem to.
yeah.
Ask if he was all silver and blue.
Is there
also? I don't believe Wookiees are capable of speaking Galactic Basic.
That is correct.
They can only make those noises.
They can only speak in Shriwook.
Would a Transdojan be a foundling, though? Is there anything that says that it can't be?
No, but also, I don't know enough about Trandoshan society.
I mean, it wouldn't matter if he was a foundling.
Yeah.
They do also, their society revolves around two things: the hunt and the worship of a goddess known as the Scorekeeper. Watch over Transdojan people, blessing or punishing them based on the success of their hunts.
So that would make him a good bounty hunter.
He'd have a lot of wound threshold. Wow.
I'm not in any way against you playing a Transdojan. I think a Wookiee would be harder.
Yeah, because I can't really talk to anybody. Just have to hope they understand what it means.
I mean, even if you did that, you would give away what you are under the helmet, which is sacrilege.
Yeah.
Do Transdojans have tails?
I don't believe so.
Okay, I think a Transdojan could pass as a Mandalorian, especially a bulky one with a big ass riot shield and a chain gun. I think that's reasonable. I do.
Trandoshans can learn and converse in Basic, though most of the words they speak carry a heavy sibilance.
So it's like hissing S's when you talk.
Yeah, but over a but most Mandos speak over a comlink, and if I know anything about working with a microphone all day, it's that drawn out S's do not get picked up by a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even if they do, they'll just he slurs a bit when he talks or something.
Right. I'm okay with Transdojan. Let's go with Transdojan. Unless you really want to go Wookiee, which it'll be harder. For sure.
No, just those are about the two only decent ones I was looking at, other than Weequay, and I don't know anything about
what
them.
What the fuck is a Weequay?
It's the race they're in the they're the heavy, the hired gun special thing, which are very tough creatures, tough skin, thick, dense.
That's not the pig guys, is it?
No, that's Gamorreans.
Gamorreans. I don't know what a Weequay is.
These are something that doesn't show up a lot. I'm looking at them.
Weequay is the race of the pirate Hondo Anoka.
Oh, those guys!
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know Hondo. Hondo's cool. Thank you. So you either go with Transdojan, which doesn't talk very much, or Weequay, which talks entirely too much. Though I will say this right now, if you go weak way, I'm putting Hondo in this game. It's happening. Because he's alive after the second Death Star, because he's in Rebels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not bad, too, for a Transdosion. They can just regenerate one wound.
I mean, you are going to be the tank.
Whenever they would recover one or more wounds, they recover an additional wound.
Nice.
It's pretty good for the tank.
Yeah.
And they can regrow its limbs, so if someone blows my arm off, well, it'll be back later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, in the core rulebook, you'll find your species abilities that'll list your starting characteristics, as well as your derived wound and strain thresholds.
Which is... So what is their Transdotion's characteristics?
3 brawn,
Damn!
1 agility, 2 intellect, 2 cunning, 2 willpower, 2 presence.
Whoa!
So they trade a point of agility for extra brawn.
Yeah, they do.
Their wound threshold is 12 plus their starting brawn. Their strength threshold is 9 plus their willpower. Starting willpower.
So minimum 15 and 11.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those do not increase as throughout gameplay, but if you increase your brawn and willpower in character creation, those do go up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So how many points does he have for characteristic buffs?
He has starting experience is 90 XP, which is a little low, but they have some powerful inherent abilities.
What does that convert to? Like, can you only use starting XP for characteristics, or can you use it for other stuff?
You can use it for other stuff, but you can only increase characteristics with XP during character creation.
Okay.
And I believe we said we're going double starting experience for this.
Correct. So 180.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit of a boost out of the gate, because this is going to be like a little bit higher level play.
So you have that experience to spend on characteristics, on your skills, and on talents.
Ah. That'll be the thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, you're sitting at some good stuff. 3 green out the gate for resilience. 3 green out the gate for athletics. Like, you're gonna hit somebody and they're gonna stay hit. Like,
They're not going to be too happy with me, and I'm okay with that.
yeah. Now, as you rank that up, you're gonna get, like, those greens are gonna change to yellows, which is gonna be even better for you. But one thing at a time. So you've got 180 points to spend. Do you want to use that on talents, skills, or characteristics?
I think the first thing is to bump my characteristics up, because I think it's like a 4 brawn, 4 agility, because you need that to handle big guns, because everything's a lot harder to wield without brawn and the agility, and just make it
So how many points would it cost to get 1 point of brawn and 3 more points of agility?
Quite a bit. To increase characteristics, you need to spend 10 times whatever the next rank would be experience. So to increase it from 3 to 4, it's 40 XP.
40. Oof. And then to get your agility up to 4, that would be
20 plus
50,
30 plus 40.
so
That's
90.
90.
So
that's 130 experience.
That's 130
already.
right there.
Do you need? I guess. Your ranged attack abilities are based on agility.
So
do you need 4 though?
Yeah, to level out because with the heavier guns, it's a lot easier to miss. So you need the higher agility to kind of like compensate for it.
Why?
Okay.
Like, I'm asking why, because I need to check over the heavy weapons again.
Like, does it specifically say it requires it?
Not the agility. You only need the brawn to handle the weight because of the encumbrance. But agility just makes it easier to hit. If my agility is only 1, I'm just going to basically be shooting at walls like a
Yeah, but I don't know if
trooper
you need
stereotype.
4. I've got 4 because I'm the sniper. But I don't, like, you're not going to be at the ranges I am, so your shots are not going to be as hard to hit.
Like, I mean, ultimately, it's Joe's decision.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. I'm just getting you the facts here.
Right, totally. Like, that's burning 130, we said?
Mm-hmm.
Out of 180, that would leave you 50.
Mm-hmm.
If you stick with 3 agility, that's only half. That makes things a lot easier.
All right.
On top of that, I know you need at least a certain bronze score in order to handle those, but you can spend your credits on upgrades to your weapons to decrease their cumbersome quality.
So,
And
so it would be 20, 30, 50, and then 90. So yeah, so you'd be back down to 90. Okay.
that's a lot better. That leaves you with still half of your experience to
Yeah,
spend on skills and talents.
I'm inclined to agree with Vader.
Yeah.
So where else do we want to spend this? Do we want to look at talents, or do we want to look at skills? Or do you want to raise some of these other values?
See, I don't know what I would need to raise for like talents other than.
Oh, your brawn threshold goes up to 16. Your wounds, rather.
Mm-hmm.
And also, your natural soak will be 4 because that's equivalent to your brawn rating.
Cool. Okay.
That's before any armor.
That's crazy. You're shrugging off 4 damage every shot before armor.
Let's see. I know I need 10 XP, 5 for Burly, 5 for Barrage.
Those are talents?
Yeah, for the hired gun.
Where do
heavy.
those go?
They're under another tab.
They're under the combat tab.
Alright. Joe's sheet is not behaving. Give me just a second. Badoop.
And they go under talents and special
There we go.
abilities.
Talents and special abilities. And you want to take... What do you want to take?
Burly and Barrage.
Burly and Barrage. Okay.
Burly
These
will
are-
reduce any wielded weapons cumbersome quality and encumbrance rating by a number equal to ranks in Burly to a minimum of 1.
So yeah, that'll automatically reduce
So what rank of Burly are you taking?
just 1.
1.
Like there's
Oh.
multiple in the heavy talent tree. There are multiple instances of Burly down the tree.
And it costs 50? Or 5?
Yeah,
5 for the first one, yeah.
And what is the book and page number?
This is Dangerous Covenants.
Page 31.
Covenants, page 31. And yeah, if you just want to copy the summary into that right-hand box there, Joe. Because I don't have the PDF open.
Okay.
Gonna be a lot of this. Welcome to session 0, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna warn you. Like, I mean,
What's up?
I'm getting my facts here. I'm assuming you're taking either a light or heavy repeating blaster.
Yeah.
A heavy repeating blaster has tremendous encumbrance rating.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I need to take the Burly and have a decent brawn
have
to be
enough
able to handle it.
For it, that's more expensive than my disruptor rifle.
That I do know.
That's the thing. Like, a light repeating blaster is almost as good and is like a third of the price.
Yeah, it's also
again,
more
he's
comforting,
heavy. Let him go heavy.
Fair. Yeah. I'm just.
Oh no, yeah, I understand.
Like-
Because it's the how
So,
much
like-
money can I throw at this while also not
It's
falling over because it's so big.
it's a little bit like the argument of why would a barbarian use a great axe when a great sword is objectively more powerful, and the answer is because it's cool. Like,
It's just. It's the difference between what the big burly Mandalorian in the show was wielding and the E-Web.
yeah, no, I understand, but if Joe wants to go hard,
That's fair.
I support it.
That's fair.
Because I could go for the lighter one, but
They also use two different skills. The light repeating blaster uses your heavy ranged skill, while a heavy repeating blaster uses gunnery.
yeah.
And like, if you want to be the gunnery guy, like if you're like manning the turrets on the ship as well,
Makes sense to
yeah,
me.
That might work. Yeah, because I also want to take barrage, which adds 1 damage per rank of barrage to 1 hit of successful attack while using ranged heavy or gunnery skills.
Rank 1.
Mm-hmm.
And what book is that in? Dangerous Covenants again?
Yeah.
same page.
Page 31?
Yeah.
Cool. And that also costs 5. Go ahead and input that one, Joe.
Okay.
So that gives you 80 points left over. Now, it sounds like you've built this character, but Vader talked you down from 4 agility to 3 agility, so you've got a lot more points to work with, something to consider.
Yeah, because I was looking at well, what else could I invest in with that?
Add 1 damage per rank of barrage to 1 hit of successful attacks while using ranged heavier gunnery skills at longer extreme range. Per
So,
rank of barrage
when I
to
get
1
on
hit
like
of
a ship's gun, I'll actually do better because of that.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
Mm,
Now, this specifies for long and extreme range.
That's yeah. And I'm gonna warn you right now, in Edge of the Empire, long and extreme range do not come up much in firefights.
Right, but that just simply means that I need to give him long and extreme range firefights. It's fine.
Yeah. Also,
Alright.
especially not in starship battles, because they use their own range bands.
Yeah.
Long and extreme range are capital ship ranges.
In gunnery, but
Yeah.
no, I think it's completely reasonable that I could give plenty of long range engagements for that to be effective.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
So athletics is a career skill. What career are you going?
The heavy talent, or the heavy.
Okay.
Hired gun is the
Brawl.
career.
Excuse me. Any other, do you only get those two? Excuse me.
So hired gun gets athletics, brawl, discipline, melee, piloting, planetary, ranged light, resilience, and vigilance. And the heavy bonus career skills are gunnery, perception, ranged heavy, and resilience.
Gunnery.
You can pick 4 from the hired gun careers to get immediately gain 1 rank in, and 2 from the heavy career skills.
Ah.
Ooh, good. 'Cause I know I gained.
Just know that in character creation, unless Kit says otherwise, you cannot raise a skill above 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that in.
Gunnery, ranged heavy, and
Do you really need piloting planetary? Or I guess you just mark these as career skills and then you.
And they're cheaper to upgrade.
Okay. So then you would need to mark gunnery as well. I don't see protection.
What? I didn't say protection.
What'd you say?
It's perception.
Oh, my bad. I
Yeah,
can't hear. That's on me.
That's
That's
right. As a Transdojan, I start out with 1 point in perception already.
Oh shit.
And I can get 4 career skills and
2 heavy skills.
bonus careers. Okay.
Do you get a
I'll
point in
probably
resilience automatically as well for being a Transdojan?
No, the Wookiees do. Those
Ah.
jerks. It's fine though, because that's what I'll take for my heavy
Oh, okay.
skill.
So how much does raising a skill cost XP wise?
If it's a career skill, it costs 5 times the next rank. If it's an out of career skill, it costs 10 times the next rank.
Okay, so you've spent 5.
Well, no, these ones you get the ones that you get that for free.
The resilience though isn't for free.
It's one of the 2 heavy bonus career
Oh,
skills.
oh! You get a point in those for free if you take it, and then you can raise it. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You get of the ones that are marked as career skills and bonus career skills for the specialization.
I misunderstood that you got a free point.
Yeah, you get 8 career skills and 4 bonus specialization skills that you are proficient in, and of 4 of those 8 career skills, you can begin the game with a single point for free, and
before you spend XP in them.
Yeah, and 2 of the 4 bonus specialization skills as well.
Cool. Okay, now I understand. Let's rock. So where are you going, Joe?
Okay, the 2 heavy bonus will probably be perception and ranged heavy and resilience.
Ranged heavy and resilience. Okay.
And the career skills, it probably, let's see, vigilance, discipline, athletics.
Vigilance, discipline.
Oh, hey, resilience is on there again.
Discipline just went up to 3. Is that supposed to be 1?
Yeah, they're all supposed to be just 1.
And then athletics was the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, and these are all free. So now you can see, instead of having 10 million greens, you have a yellow in some of these, which is super, super good. And now you have some point... Mobile fire base. Yes, chat.
Question, if resilience appears twice on there, if I choose that a second time, do I get a second point in it?
Yes, if you choose it from both of them, you can
yes.
Can begin with 2. You can't raise it any higher with experience at this point, though.
Yeah, that's like what I read, but you said earlier, you can't go above 2 at the character creation.
Right, but that still gives you, in resilience, you have 2 yellow, 2 green. I'm just going to roll this to show chat what that actually looks like. That's what that looks like. A middling roll for Joe Gas resilience is 2 successes and 4 advantage.
Wow.
Which will be tested by difficulty
and
all that.
But still, like...
I am the Daka.
That's pretty good. So do you want to spend any points, any of your XP to get stuff?
I was thinking about it, or trying to go down and get the second burly talent, because that'll cost me another... to get that, I need 10, 25 more XP to get the thing of brace, and then down to burly for 15.
Something that I can't really show you guys with the way that I have this set up, but the other thing that Edge of the Empire does that's really interesting, and I've not seen it in a tabletop game before, but instead of you level up, at level 4 you get this stuff. It has talent trees, and as you get points, you can just buy talents and like specialize as you go. So if you want to rush Fireball, you kind of can.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. I've seen them before. I don't have an easy way to show them to you guys, unfortunately, but the talent trees are really interesting.
So, like, brace, which will cost me 10, is perform the brace maneuver to remove black square per rank of brace from next action. This may only remove black square added by environmental circumstances. But I need to take that to take the second rank in burly.
I mean, you can remove setback die with brace. That's really good.
And then
I'm gonna get people an example of Joe's talent tree.
Sorry? I don't know what you said, Vader.
I'm gonna get people an example of Joe's talent tree. I'm gonna post it in chat.
Yeah, actually give it to me and I'll just throw it up on the stream.
It is.
I posted it in chat.
Perfect. Let me really quick save this, and I'll throw it up on the stream for you guys. right here in Roll20, so you guys can follow along. This is what we're using. This is right out of the PDF. Obviously, this is, you know, not meant to replace the PDF. This is just an example so that you guys can see what we're doing. So Joe already got Burley and Barrage, and that leads into another Barrage and Brace. Oh, I see. You probably, yeah. And you can get Brace, and then from Brace you can get down and get another Burley for 15. So if he gets Brace and Burley, that'll cost him another 25. But the Brace maneuver removes setback dice per rank. He's only got one right now, but there's another one on his tree later. From your next action. This may only remove setback dice added by environmental circumstances. So like shaky ground, or like smoke cover. What? Foliage. Yeah, like Brace would remove like difficulty. That's a big deal. That way, if I'm like, I'm gonna raise the DC on that, Joe can be like, no, you're not. I brace. Like that's useful. And then another point of Burley would like lower the encumbrance of carrying around these big ass turrets. So
yeah, so now like a big gun, instead of it being like 8, is now only a 6, which because I have a 4 in brawn will take a lot. It would be a lot easier for me to handle, to like carry it around and wield it,
like
than if I didn't have any points.
I do completely understand the desire to spend 25 there and grab that, but you also might want to consider spending 10 and get Toughened and Grit at the top, because that gives you even more wounds threshold.
Oh, I also plan on getting Toughened and Durable. Durable reduces any critical injury by 10 per rank of Durable to a minimum of 1.
That means reducing the roll on the critical injury table by 10.
That's still really good.
On top of getting 2 wound threshold.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the critical injury table? My gun adds plus 50.
Your gun blows off limbs.
And automatically at least rolls like a 99 if the roll's below that.
Yeah,
so
right.
Good.
So you're going to take another rank of Burley, which costs you a total of 20. And then you're going to take Brace. 1 rank of Brace. It's active skill. And this is the same page?
Yes.
Page 31. XP cost of 10. And you can go ahead and copy that in. Just where it says black square, just change that to setback die. Oh, you gotta do. And in the meantime, we're gonna keep looking at these talents because they're cool. Cannot run out of ammo due to a setback. Or due to a despair. Items with limited ammo quantity run out of ammo as normal. Nice.
So, like, if you got a missile launcher, you don't have infinite ammo on that.
Right, but you don't have...
That's still really good.
It's still real good.
It means you don't have to pack spare clips.
Yes. If I were you, Joe, I would still get, like, Toughened, Durable, and the other Toughened, and just raise your wound threshold by 4.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad. Let's see. So that would be plus 4 to that, reduce the critical injury.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have a 20 threshold for wounds.
Like, that's really good!
And how much experience do you have left after that? Because you still got to consider skills.
Yeah,
though
that's
you
true.
don't need too many points for skills, depending on where you want to put them.
Yeah, so,
I'm at 80, so add the other 25, 30, 40,
so you'd be
I'll have 40 left.
And if you're going into career skills, it's not expensive. Like,
wait, what? Hang on, no, I'm sorry. You're at 80.
Okay, yeah, mine is 10 for Brace, 15 for Burley.
You're at 65?
5 for Toughen, 10 for Durable.
Oh.
Which would be 60, 50. Then the 15 for that Toughened.
So 35. If my math is right. Yeah. Chat, help me out.
You're at 90 after all your characteristics, right?
Right.
Yeah, then I took 10 away for Burly and Barrage rank 1.
80, then Brace and Burly, that's another 25, so that's 65. Toughened, Durable, and Toughened again. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 15, 30. So yeah, you'd be at 35.
Yeah, so you're at 35, but your wound threshold is 20, which is insanity. And then we're gonna get toughened, rank 2, dangerous, covenant, page 31, XP cost. What did you spend on this total? 20?
15, yeah, 20.
And then your wounds threshold. Oh, you already got it. Gain +2 wound threshold per rank. There you go.
And durable.
And then, yeah, durable. Durable, rank 1. It's passive. Dangerous covenant. Page 31. XP costs 10.
Oh man, if I didn't really care about skills, I'd burn another 15 for heroic fortitude. They spend one destiny point to ignore effects of critical injuries on brawn or agility checks until the end of the encounter.
Wow.
Like, no. Just no.
I've also got a thing for that. I picked up an item.
That's so good.
Nice. Immediately, or heroic resilience, immediately after being hit by an attack, but before suffering damage, spend one destiny point to increase soak by ranks in resilience.
There's a lot of really good skills on here. I didn't pick up too many talents because I spent a lot on skills and my.
Make sure you put durable in, Joe.
Oh yeah.
Also, I had to spend extra to dip into a second talent tree.
Yeah, you can do that. You can go into another talent tree, which is dope.
Yeah.
Oof. So that leaves you with 35 to use on skills. Though I'm gonna be real, heroic fortitude is real fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't know. People look at it like, do I really need that many skills?
Well, let's do your skills and see if you have 15 left over, right? Like, seems the simplest solution to me.
Like, immediately, I think you're going to want points in heavy ranged and gunnery, right?
At least one more in heavy range, yeah. Because
So,
I want to
increase it from 1 to 2 would cost you 10.
Okay.
And then increasing gunnery to 2 would cost you 15. So you'd be from 35 to 25
To
and
10.
And then gunnery, that would bring you down to 10.
To 10.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to consider brawl as well.
That's what your shock glove uses.
A point in brawl, so you're down to 5. The other thing to think about is I'm assuming, and please correct me if this is wrong. I'm assuming your homeboy ain't gonna be talking very much. Like, he's
Probably
not gonna be the face of the group.
Yeah, he's, he doesn't need people being like, what the heck is that coming out of that, voice box?
Right. So you probably don't need charm, but something to consider is cool or deception might be helpful.
Cool and vigilant are used to determine initiative.
That's also a fair point, yeah.
Except that they're not skills, my actual skill, so it would cost 10 points to get one, and I can't afford that.
Well, vigilance is one of yours.
Oh, yeah. Well, that would still cost 10 to bump it up to 2.
That's true.
So I would just take melee, so I'll punch people if I can't shock them.
Yeah, you might want to consider brawl.
Punching people is brawl, not melee.
Yep. Melee is like swords. Kali sticks.
Swords.
Hit them with a stick.
Okay.
because it was just a whole
Is that
lot
point
else
in
I
Brawl
could-
your last 5, or do you have 5 after that?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that's it. So is he done, Vader?
Next is equipment.
Ah, yes. And how do we determine equipment?
So the rules as written say you start with 500 credits to spend as you please.
And I doubled
believe
that to give you guys some more.
1,000, and there's also some extra rules that allow you to get some more starting credits or starting experience.
Ooh.
This goes into the obligation mechanic.
Which is a very large part of this.
Obligation is a mechanic to both drive roleplay and to introduce difficulties to the party.
Mm-hmm.
You take an obligation at the start. It has a magnitude to it. The starting magnitude is determined by the size of the party. We've got 4 people in the party, so starting obligation magnitude is 10. Normally, and words failing me. You can take extra magnitude to gain more credits or more experience.
But when you do, it adds to the overall magnitude. And I believe it's a D100 roll.
At the start of a session, yes.
At the start of the session, you roll a D100. And if you don't get above your magnitude...
above the entire party's magnitude combined.
Right. The obligation comes up during the session.
It affects the party. I believe whoever, like, you line up the magnitudes in order for the party. Whoever's obligation comes up, I believe they lose a point in either their wound or strength threshold or both for the session. If you roll doubles on the D100, like 11, 22, 33, etc.,
right,
that it's even worse. The entire party loses a point of threshold, and the person whose roll came up loses 2.
And
on top of that, it has story effects.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and the main thing is it'll mess up with the flow of the plot. So, like, very interesting, and especially for long-term storage, which is, my preference, a big deal. Vader, did you take any obligations? Can we, use show as an example?
Yes, I took the oath obligation.
The oath obligation, which is how many points?
I have 30.
So
because we could take double the extra. Normally, you'd only be able to go up to double your starting obligation for extra stuff.
Right.
But I needed a lot of money, so
yeah. So right now the party is at 40 obligation, straight up. What does your oath obligation do?
It has to do with the way,
right,
and her struggle.
Oh, I see. So, if your obligation comes up, then we find out that Sho has, done something against the way, and it comes up to, bite you. I see. Okay. All right. Cool. So, Joe, you got 1,000 credits to spend, plus obligations if you want to take them. Do you have anything in mind?
You are supposed to take an obligation, yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to take an obligation.
Yeah.
Page obligations on.
They're in the core rulebook. I'm looking for them now. Core rulebook page 38 is when all that starts.
Cookie, did you take any obligations?
I was going to, and then there was never a decision for magnitude, so...
Well, you're currently at 40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd start at 10, and you could take extra to gain more credits or more experience. There's a table on
Oh, so we're not at 40. We're at 30, and then 10 from Joe right now, 10 from Cookie right now, 10 from Squeaky right now. So you're at total of 60.
Yeah.
And then if you guys want to take... Ouch! And then if you guys want to take more, you
that's
can.
why I was saying, like, earlier on when this was in the works, like, I'm going to screw the party with how much I'm taking.
Yeah, you are.
An extra 10 obligation will get you an extra 2,500 starting credits.
So that'd be 3,000 total.
No, 3,500.
3,500, because I gave you extra to start.
Or you can just take 1,000 starting credits for 5 obligation.
Or you could use it to get XP to bump your shit some more if you want.
Yeah, it's 5 starting XP for 5 obligation, or 10 starting XP for 10.
Okay.
It's not much.
Let's see, 35.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to need those extra credits to afford a repeating blaster.
Yeah, no, like, just if I wanted the good one, it's like 25.50 right there.
I mean, you could get that with 10 obligation.
I could go 20 obligation.
I mean, you're already at yeah. You should get at least 10, and then 20 obligation. You could get quite a lot of money, and that would put you guys at 70 obligation.
That's a really big number.
It is a really big number. You right.
That's a 70% chance each session that one of our obligations is going to screw us over.
Oh man!
And there's only like 6 sessions, so
like in a long-term campaign, you have the opportunity to reduce obligation magnitude.
Right. And I will give you those opportunities here. Like, if you want to like spend the session focusing on getting your obligation down, I'll gladly do that. I don't mind.
It'd be bad, like, because you know, especially if we're just starting off, we'd have a big obligation to follow all these things and get it.
True.
And as
True.
we start going, everything would start lowering.
So, I'm gonna say right now, you should. Main things you want are your main weapon, some armor, stim packs, a comm link. Like, those are essential.
Yeah.
And probably some stuff to raise your encumbrance value, like a backpack or a utility belt.
I would go a step further and say you're probably going to want some ordnance. If you're going to be the heavy in the demo, you're going to need some demo.
So yeah, I need to look at what sort of ordnance there is.
There's thermal detonators. That's a classic.
That's 2,000 credits
for a single thermal detonator. Yeah.
Yep. 50 credits for frag grenades, though.
True.
So if I get
I believe slug throwers are much cheaper than laser weapons.
Yeah.
Take heart in that none of you need a lightsaber. That shit is expensive.
And you're not going to find one in a store.
Also true.
You just go to Kyber's R Us and it's all there. Just play around with some basic numbers.
Like, listen, I will say this. I do not mind at all if you guys wind up with 100% obligation. I will say you cannot go above 150.
Which is fine, yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. I believe the rules as written say if you go above 100 obligation for the party, nobody can spend experience until it's paid below 100.
That's not going to be a huge deal for the Odeon.
Yeah.
Chat says, slug throwers, you mean the fuck Jedi gun? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
My favorite Mandalorian fact: when they first encountered Jedi, they learned very quickly that a Jedi sees a troop with a blaster and thinks, ooh, deflection practice. So
Harry,
what
this
they
you-
did was they grabbed slug throwers, aka normal fucking guns that shoot bullets, and disguised them as blasters. And you know what happens when you try to deflect a bullet with a lightsaber? You get a face full of bullet shrapnel.
I was gonna say you get a face full of flaming bullets.
or as the old saying goes, parry this, you filthy casual. See, stim packs are only 25. That's not bad.
Yeah, stim packs aren't bad at all.
Okay, and backpack.
Stim packs are
Where-
much more economical than thermal detonators. That tells you a lot about like warfare in the galaxy.
I believe thermal detonators are like illegal weaponry, though.
I mean, so are frag grenades.
I believe thermal detonators are on the level of war crime.
So are frag grenades.
Are they?
If you throw a frag grenade in the middle of a cantina, I'm pretty sure the Empire will be upset with you. Yes.
Well, I meant as weapons of war.
Personal problem with them, okay. Well, right now, just with basic gear of a heavy blaster rifle, shot gauntlet, padded armor, 6 frag grenades, 12 stim packs, and a backpack, it's 29.50 credits.
That's not counting the riot shield.
And that's not like counting the shield.
You're also going to want to consider modifications to your weapons.
It sounds like you need some money, homie.
Maybe a little bit.
I mean, I got a real good obligation for you if you're interested.
Okay.
Somebody
see how much-
knows you're a Transdoshan and is blackmailing you.
Oh,
Whoa.
I mean, that's a good one, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, which is the one that reduces? That's actually really good. Which is the encumbrance lowering one?
Tripod?
It's there's a tripod. You can mount the gun, or there's also just, I believe there's I gotta remember what it's called, but it's just like a strap.
Oh, hey, yeah, weapon harness decreases cumbersome rating by 2.
There you go.
Weapon harness, but I've got one that reduces it by 1 that I'm using.
Chat says, is it thermal detonator a mini nuke? No, it's not a radioactive device. It's just... Have you ever seen thermite cut through a thing? This is like a thermite explosion. That's what a thermal
Keep in
detonator
mind,
is.
Jogath, it decreases cumbersome, not encumbrance. As long as you meet the cumbersome rating, you don't have to worry about beating it anymore unless you get a critical injury.
Okay, let me look. Encumbrance is more details on 152.
Thermal detonators will fuck up a smaller ship's, like,
Encumbrance and
plates.
cumbersome are not the same thing, Jogath.
Just looking at that because one of them is, let's see,
Still terrifying? Oh, absolutely, it's terrifying. 100% chat.
Okay, encumbrance threshold is 5 plus their brawn rating, so right now mine's a 9.
Backpack will increase that by 4, I believe.
Okay, so 10, 11, 12, 13. I have one thing in Burley to drop the gun down from. I think it's an
You have
8
two things
to
of
a-
Burley. Yeah, you took Burley twice, homie.
Let's see, that'd be 2. So let's see, heavy blaster is encumbrance of 6, so now it's a 4. So yeah, that's super easy to carry.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Plus, it's only got a cumbersome rating of 1, so you don't need a sling or a harness for it.
Heavy blaster rifle that has like cumbrance 3.
You're good.
I already have like it's reduced to 1 now because of those 2 burleys. So
And you're sporting like what 14?
Mm-hmm.
So you're good.
Well, again, encumbrance and cumbersome are not the same thing.
Right.
Encumbrance is your general like carrying capacity. Cumbersome is a weapon quality, where if you do not meet, if your brawn is lower than the cumbersome rating, it imposes disadvantages.
But he's sorted.
He's good. He's more than good.
Okay, now I have to find some kind of.
Which armor are you grabbing?
He said
I
padded.
just padded armor because it's cheap and I'm poor.
That's fair.
But it's also +2 to soak, so you know.
Yeah, just no defense,
Yeah.
but still.
You might want to like get something a little bit beefier.
That's still most armor doesn't go above 2 soak and.
Right? No, I'm not saying there's things that are that much beefier, but like if I were in Jogat's position, I would be like, okay, what is the equivalent of plate mail? Like
that would be like laminate, but that's 2,500 credits.
Oof.
Yeah, because that's like stormtrooper armor, basically.
I mean,
that's already 25. That would be all 10 points of that on top of everything.
but you would be the tankiest tank to ever tank.
They have the same soak rating. It's just laminate has hard points that you can add mods to.
Got it. Which you might want to consider with like a comlink and shit.
Well, you can have like a handheld comlink just in your backpack.
Fair.
Or like built into a helmet, like
built into the helmet or like on the wrist. Get the cool Mando gauntlet with the buttons on it.
I don't need the harness. I can take the 500 off, but that put me back at 2950. Plus that would put me over 5,000.
Yeah, I went with armored clothing, and I'm just sort of hand waving its extra effects because I don't need them.
Actually, if I did that and I just took that, I couldn't get a shield because I don't know. I don't think there's going to be like a 50 credit shield, but I would be 50 credits under the starting credits plus the 10 obligation.
So ammo.
Yeah, if he's he's not taking that 1 talent.
No, he's not. You might want to take some ammo. You're gonna burn ammo like a motherfucker.
Ammo generally doesn't come into play unless a despair roll comes into play.
Right.
Because blaster packs last a very long time.
I completely agree with you. However, that applies to like, you know, a stormtrooper's rifle or like a marksman carbine like what you got. But heavy over here is making it rain shells. I think it's going to come up more often. It would not be a terrible idea to have some extra ammo just in case. I'm not saying it's the best option, but it's definitely something to think about.
Look at the auto fire characteristic.
Where would ammo be?
You could also
Extra
get like
reload.
You could also get like missiles. Just on the off chance, is a flamethrower in the book?
There's flame one.
Projector.
And there's you're also going to want to look at the no disintegrations book for a lot of bounty hunter gear.
You might want to consider a flamethrower. You might want to consider whistling birds. You might want to consider a rising phoenix. That goes for all of you.
Yeah, if I had any credits left over.
It's too rich for my blood. I'm bumping my armor up to not be a complete clod wearing like, you know, parka with some plastic shoulder pads.
I'm just saying, if you're only taking 10, you're still only at 60 obligation for the whole group. So you guys have some play there.
Yeah, but there's also 2 more people.
No, that's with all 4.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying, but what about them taking
Jogat's
extra?
taking 20. I'm taking 30.
Wait, Jogat's taking 20? I thought Jogat's taking 10.
10 is the starting value. You can take extra for the extra credits and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so it's.
I thought it was like you should take 10 and then you get this stuff and then you could take more on top of.
No.
Okay, so you're at 70. That's still not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. Bad would be like, to me, 110.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that will remain to be seen what happens with the other 2.
Fair. I'm just saying, if you want to get some more credits, get a shield, get some extra ammo, get a flamethrower, get some whistling birds, get a jetpack. Do any of you have jetpacks currently?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, have fun with that.
For rookies, we just get specially customized backpacks that look like jetpacks, so people think they don't know how dirt poor we are.
Okay. So do you think you can input all that on your character sheet, Joe?
Think so. I'm trying to see where would the there is shields or something.
It would go under armor. Oh, you mean in the book? I don't know. I asked because I want to tab over here to Cookie sheet.
So yeah, a jetpack is 4,500 credits.
Nice. So
Well,
Cookie, I just want to take a look at your talents, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for it.
So let's see what Cookie's got. Cookie's got grit, which gives +1 strength threshold, full throttle, hard piloting check to increase speed by 1 stage for a number of rounds equal to your cunning. What? So you can push the ship faster than it's supposed to go?
Sup, bitches, we gotta go fast. I'm going full throttle.
What is your cunning, homie? Your cunning
my
is
cunning is 2.
2. Okay. Skill jockey removes 1 penalty die per rank from both piloting skill checks. Rude. Planet mapper removes 1 penalty die per rank from streetwise and survival checks on world. In addition, those checks take half the time to make. Okay. Galaxy mapper removes 1. Okay, so you're just nav boy.
Yeah.
All-terrain driver does not suffer penalties from difficult terrain while piloting planetary checks. Tinkerer may add 1 hard point to items per rank of Tinkerer. Each rank can only be modified. You can just add 2 hard points to items?
Yeah.
Whoa, buddy. Oh, that's so good. I will let you go ahead and do that to the other players if you want.
Absolutely.
Can you just do it, or do you need to spend resources?
It doesn't really say in that skill tree.
Okay, then I think with time and miscellaneous resources, I think you could do that. So anybody who wants additional hard points on your gear, congratulations, you have 2 more. Go nuts. Whenever a character involuntarily suffers strain, they suffer 1 less per rank of resolve. Oh wow! So you just suffer strain, you just don't suffer strain effects. Okay.
Yeah. So you can get padded armor with 2 hard points.
Upgrade all mechanic checks on the vehicle once, so you could get you just get a boost die. That's dope. Basically. When attempting to legally purchase something, once per session, reduce the rarity by 1 rank of this talent. You know a guy. All right, cool. Fancy paint. Fancy. Funnily enough, fancy paint job. Upgrade charm, deception, and negotiation checks while in the presence of signature. All right, Arthur Fonzarelli.
Hey.
So if you're in the presence of your vehicle, you are more charming and better at negotiation. Fucking really? That is equally the tightest shit and the dumbest shit I have ever seen in a TTRPG.
Hi,
Holy
welcome to cookie level play.
Yeah, right.
Armor
Like,
attachments are expensive. I just realized.
sorry.
Armor attachments are really expensive.
Well, you have more hard points now if you need them. That's really funny, actually. Did you buy vehicle? I'm assuming you spent money on vehicles.
There is a separate thing for vehicles. I haven't written things down for that yet, but I'm going to.
Okay, what did you purchase?
We purchased. I still got to write it down. It said it back in the thing.
If it's the one we were talking about, I can look it up real quick.
We purchased a YT 2400 light freighter.
Is that the only vehicle you have?
We also have a couple of swoop bikes in there.
Of course you
Probably
do.
have 4 swoop bikes, honestly.
Is it
Yeah.
4?
One for each of us.
I thought you were going to double up.
I guess we could, yeah.
Well, okay. So, serious question. Logistically, would you guys be able to double up with the fucking Transdoshan Heavy? Like,
That's a good point.
that man is lugging around a heavy blaster rifle. Like,
It's okay. Very light for my size. It's fine. I'm
like,
half bird. It's fine. All my bones are hollow.
like
I think-
realistically, there's 5 of you. There's the 4 Mandos, and then the Transdoshan's gear counts as a Mando. Like, so you might need to get 3.
Yeah, I think 3 swoop bikes would probably do us good.
And how much obligation did you take?
I only have the base obligation. I'm thinking about taking another one. Not quite sure yet.
You can either take another obligation or just increase the magnitude of the current one.
True.
True. Could do that. Could, in fact, do that.
So let's talk about the specifics of yours, Vader. What is your
Okay.
oath obligation, and why is it magnitude 30? Like,
That's a good question.
I got an answer for you if you want it.
Okay.
You are a born and bred Mando. Like, you're not a foundling, right?
Yeah.
What if you're someone important, like an heiress, and you don't talk about it, but the people who know? And what I'm getting at is, what if Black Sun is after you?
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Right. So instead of oath, that would be a bounty.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Yeah. I think I even took like the extra knowledge skills for new Mandalorian as opposed to the extra combat skills.
So chat says, who's Black Sun? Black Sun is basically the bad Mandos, to put it bluntly.
That's Death Watch.
Oh, that's Death Watch? I thought Death Watch was the cultist Mandos.
Black Sun. No, now I gotta look this up because I'm not sure.
I thought Death Watch was the cultist and Black Sun was the like Mando hunters.
No, Black Sun's a criminal syndicate.
Oh. Then yeah, what if Death Watch is after you?
Yeah.
It'd be cool if they weren't.
It's because the Covert is kind of the successor to Death Watch. They're the children of the Watch.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
Bo-Katan's not Death Watch.
That's fair.
Bo-Katan knows the way. Like,
It's probably defined differently for each covert, but like
absolutely.
Din Djarin is from the Children of the Watch.
Yes,
Like they're the fanatics.
No, Jin, absolutely Death Watch. But what I'm saying is you guys do not have to be a Death Watch covert. I think it is reasonable that coverts are just like a Mando thing. Some of them are Death Watch, some of them aren't. But it was adopted by the Mandos to like hide and rebuild their culture.
At least those that didn't basically acquiesce to the Republic's demands.
Correct. So you're going to be fringe in some description, but I don't think you necessarily have to be Death Watch. If you want to be, cool. Point being, though, is you've got all of this obligation. Like, I think like that to me says you're royalty. And it's like, it's not like unknown royalty. It's like, you know you're royalty. Like, you are in line for the fucking Darksaber. Maybe not next, but like, your name is on that list, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I like that.
So what would that be? Would that be like do you want to go full princess with this? Like, because I will have Bo-Katan show up and shoot you in the face. I will do that. Like,
I don't know about full princess. Honestly, I feel like there's a need to lay low right now.
Absolutely. Well, but that's the thing. Show is bad at that. We've already established.
Yeah.
Like, so that makes it even worse. Like, somebody knows that Show not only is a Mandalorian, not only has covert, like, information, but is important to the Mandalorians. Somebody knows that, and that puts Show and everything Show does in danger. And I think that's where that 30 obligation comes in.
Yeah.
Maybe Show has to, like, continually, like, change her armor, because if she gets recognized too many times, like, that's it. The hounds are gonna come sniffing.
That could probably come into play with the armored clothing, because it has a trait to it that makes it difficult to ascertain if someone's wearing armor. We could reflavor that to make it, like, harder to tell if, like, that she's a Mandalorian.
Well, no, not that she's hard. Not that it's harder to tell that she's a Mandalorian, but like Sabine. Sabine is always, painting her armor, right? Like, rocking the different colors depending on her mood. Like, maybe Show does something like that, but she does it to, like, obfuscate, right?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any hiding that you're a Mandalorian, and I don't think Show would accept not being a Mandalorian.
I'm just wondering how this feature can come into play with that.
I'm sorry?
The feature of the armored clothing, because it's supposed to be subtle.
Dude. I mean, not to...
Never mind.
No, I agree with you. It has to be subtle. Mandos look the same except to other Mandos. That would be subtle.
Yeah.
Like, do you honestly think, what is his name? I've already forgotten his name. Hondo. Do you honestly think Hondo cares one Mando from another, or does he just see a guy with a bucket helmet?
That's fair.
But, like, whoever is hunting you, and I think that's the rub, right? Like, your obligation comes up, somebody connects your current outfit with, your show Saul, and then like the big hounds come sniffing. But again, like, we need to establish who that is.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if you want to go, like, I'm third in line from the throne of Mandalore, like, it's gonna be Bo-Katan. Like, it's gonna be Bo-Katan. and that's not going to end well for you.
Yeah.
If you want to do like, my mother is like fourth in line in this house or whatever, like it's not going to be Bo-Katan, but it'll still be somebody threatening.
Yeah, probably more the latter.
So how, like, I'm assuming
Especially since,
go ahead.
like, okay. All right. So yeah, I also sometimes forget the Imperial Purge happened, and that's why like all the new Mandalorians would be in coverts as well.
Right. So then is Sho Sol a surname? Like a not a surname, a fake name? Like, I think more than anybody else in the covert, like, Sho belongs to a house.
Yeah, like I believe she belongs to like a long established clan.
Yeah. But she probably doesn't advertise that, because that would be a death sentence.
Yeah.
So it's gotta be like a big house.
I gotta look up Mandalorian clans again.
That's fine. Like,
Quick question, kid.
Yo.
So so I could take the padded armor because it's the same soak and it's 2,000 less, so frees up 2,000 credits.
right?
Have frag grenades so that there's some explosive thing. Well, there's a 2,000 credit attachment for my gun that gives me an underbarrel grenade launcher. Could I use the frag grenades from that?
Yes. Yes, you can. So I think less importantly than your house, like, that's flavor, right? Is who is hunting Sho? Is it just straight up Death Watch?
I think it might be.
Is it the Inquisition?
Oh, that it could be that too.
Is it the First Order?
Mm.
Is it all of them?
God, imagine that.
I mean, 30 obligation, dog.
Yeah. 10 for each of them.
Yeah! Right?
Oh. Yeah, I've got a pretty ancient clan she could be from.
Okay.
This dates back to Knights of the Old Republic, Clan Ordo.
Ordo?
Yeah.
So it should be Shoshe Ordo. That's a Star Wars ass name. I'm into
Ordo
it.
was one of the ancient Mandalores, so
Yeah. That would definitely put you on a list for sure. So who is hunting you?
definitely Death Watch.
Okay. Just Death Watch?
I don't know.
Okay. Like, I feel like the Inquisition only cares about Force sensitives, so probably not the Inquisition.
No.
But the First Order absolutely could be hunting your ass.
Yeah.
For like nothing else than like political clout. For that matter, the New Republic might be hunting you for the same reason. Like,
Yeah.
like Sho might not matter. It's just the fact of who she is could help the burgeoning Republic, like, get a lot of like power. Like,
This is why she carries a disruptor rifle.
right, we hunted down this like ancient Mandalorian criminal. Like, that's a big deal, right? Like, so I think it would certainly be the New Republic, which would explain why you're underground, right?
Yeah.
Like, so either Sho herself or somebody in Sho's family should be poised to do what Bo-Katan is doing. Probably, like, not during this story, but you know what I mean? Like Bo-Katan is gonna, like, she wants the Darksaber, and then she wants to go to the New Republic and be like, motherfucker, I am the Mandalore, give me my planet back, recognize my authority. Like, Sho or someone in Sho's family should be poised to be able to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
which means the New Republic fucking hates her. Which means the First Order probably wants her dead. Which means Death Watch is after her. Which means, like, name a criminal syndicate, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a really good obligation for you. I do.
The Hutts, Black Sun. Why
The
not all of them?
Trade Federation.
God.
But like we've already established that Show meets force with force, right? Show doesn't skulk. So
Yeah.
so she's the type who's like, well, the whole fucking galaxy is against me. Bring them the fuck on, right? Like, so I mean, I think that's worth 30 obligation. What do you think?
I think that works really well.
All right, so yeah, so again, like, maybe not full princess yourself, but like definitely like daughter of an ambassador or some shit, right? So you probably know Bo-Katan. Maybe not you personally, but like at some point in your life, Bo-Katan has probably shown up and spoken to someone close to you. At least once. If not over a comlink, right? Like, you are aware of the existence of Bo-Katan. Because of who you are.
Uh-huh.
Would that be an ally, or would that be an enemy? Well, let's do this. Let's make that a roll, shall we? Why don't you roll Destiny? Just straight up roll Destiny, and we'll see if Bo-Katan would be an ally or an enemy if you ever cross paths. Ally. Staunch ally.
Yeah.
So if Bo-Katan and Shoshay Saul are on the same team, then suddenly it clarifies who your enemies are, right?
Uh-huh.
Death Watch, the Imperial Remnant, the New Republic, and the First Order. Boom.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Yeah, definitely make a note of all of that, because that's gonna come up. I'm probably not gonna have Bo-Katan show up because I don't want to get sued by Disney, but like that's how we tie this into the broader Star Wars canon, right? Right there.
It's conspicuously not Bo-Katan.
I mean, Bo-Katan traveled with like 3 nameless Mandos, so like I could have one of them show up.
True.
So Cookie, have you decided on your obligations yet?
I believe I have.
Go on.
The base one is the obligation of responsibility for Koga to feel. He has a very strong connection to the people in the covert and feels extremely responsible for both all of them and then more specifically anybody who would follow him in missions or anything of the sort.
Okay.
And the other one that I'm thinking about, I'm not quite set in stone on it yet, is Duty Bound. He's determined to not only continue teaching others and other foundlings the way, but also wanting to be a leader in and of his own sort.
Okay, but that's just the plot of The Way. How would that interfere with the plot of The Way?
By him not being able to do any of that.
So
some
Your-
kind of situation happens.
Your
and-
obligation shows up, and I have to give you a Sophie's Choice.
yeah, basically.
Okay. Interesting. Or maybe maybe you have to choose between like your mission and your mission, right? Like
Yeah, either doing what the plot of the way is or doing what I want to do.
how would
Which-
that be different though, is the question.
Well, that's a good question. Let me do a little think on that.
Okay. Joe, you got your inventory put in.
Almost.
All right. I don't want to hit you with too much while you're working on that, so we'll stay with Cookie for the time being.
I think this sort of dream of his was something he's always kind of been thinking about ever since he was a foundling, and then
Oh, you're a foundling too. What, are you human?
yes, I am not. I am fuck, how do you pronounce this? Thespaspian?
What are they?
They are essentially the Star Wars equivalent of Nagas.
Have they shown up in any media that I would know?
Well, yes, actually, they are a canon race. They were featured in the Phantom.
Featured in the Phantom Menace.
One of their members, and thus far what I can tell is the only Force-sensitive Thespacian, Oppo Renasis, I think is how you say his name, was on the Jedi Council during the Battle of Naboo.
Okay, can you link me a picture of this guy?
Yes, I absolutely will.
And which book is this in?
What is book is this? I will find that book in just a moment.
I just want to see if I recognize this guy. Because, like, listen, the Transdoshan and the Mando armor, that's tricky. If you're playing a Yanti, that might be not tenable. I need to see what they look like.
Here, I will give you both a picture of what he looks like and then where you can see him in the movie itself.
I appreciate it. Depending on what it is, of course I'll show you chat. Don't worry. I've not seen this individual.
Yeah. So. This is the guy.
Whoa!
And then this is where he was seen in the Phantom Menace.
Wow.
Yeah, obscure council member number 12.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So in both of those shots, I can't tell if he has feet.
Yeah. So
What is?
let me tell you about the biology of the Sospian.
Yeah, please. That dude's got some hair.
Yeah.
So, chat, I'm gonna link a screen cap from Lucasfilm's The Phantom Menace. I don't own this image. It has nothing to do with my show. Just gonna throw that out. But I will show you guys the image that I was linked. And this is apparently our only canon reference for this race. Let me just show you guys this real quick. That guy.
I have linked an image backstage that is, as far as I can tell, a Legends appearance of a Thespacian. Maybe Opus Rey, but I'm not quite sure.
That's not super helpful, unfortunately. In complete fairness, I would have thought that was Ki-Adi-Mundi, except Ki-Adi-Mundi is center stage.
Yeah.
Like, also, is Is Sam Jackson on an iPad in this image? I just noticed. Holy shit. Anyway, get that off the screen before I get sued by Disney. Yeah, how are you gonna put Mando armor in that?
Well, it's quite simple. You put Mando armor in it, and then you don't look down. I will change it up to make it
okay. Like
better.
I mean no disrespect, but
Absolutely not.
that's pushing it a little bit. What drew you to that race in the first place? Out of curiosity.
Well, let me tell you a couple of the reasons. Number one, because snake people can be awesome.
Snake people can be awesome. I agree.
The second reason is the way that their stat distribution seemed good for the kind of build that I was going for.
Oh, power gaming. Got it.
No, not power gaming. Fucky gaming.
Okay, fair.
Again, I'd like to know which book they were in so I can check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. I will find out which book they were in.
Do you know specifically which system? Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, or Force and Destiny?
I don't. I would imagine probably Force and Destiny.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. The stuff in Force and Destiny is an order of magnitude stronger than the other two books.
I mean, it's not that much stronger than everything else I've been looking at.
A lot of the stuff in Force and Destiny is quite strong.
Yes, it is. That I will give you.
I heard it put best by Distracted Elf recently. They're running, she's running her own Star Wars game called Desperate Gamble over on Roll20. I'm completely unaffiliated with them, but Elf said it best when she said, here's the thing about Star Wars. When a Jedi shows up, the entire board gets unbalanced. There's Jedi, and then there's everybody else in Star Wars canon. I'm just like, yeah, pretty much.
That is completely true across pretty much everything.
It really is.
Jedi are fucked. There's a reason the Jedi Code is so strict, and it's so that they have balance and like morals that govern what they're allowed to do.
Sure, but it's like Gary Gygax in alignment to make the Paladin balance. Like, it's a poor decision. Like,
yeah.
Although I will say I was pleasantly surprised by this group. I started like pitching the idea for the way and getting these players together, and I was expecting to wake up in the morning one day and have a message that just says, so, about those force sensitivity rules, and nobody did it. I was really surprised.
Well, yeah.
And I think the first person to mention the Darksaber was me tonight. Like, which is also impressive.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying, Joe?
Well, at this point, most of the only force sensitives that anyone ever ran into were either like nobody that could have learned anything, so it just kind of went away because you didn't have any training for it, or you were like old inquisitors.
Aye. Though there was that, it's canon in the Star Wars. What's the flight sim that came out recently?
Squadrons.
Squadrons, thank you. In Star Wars Squadrons, on the Rebel side, there's I cannot remember the name of the rays, which is a shame because I love them. They're the ones with the geometric tattoos, the geometric henna tattoos. They're usually green, but the one in Squadrons is like yellowish. Got geometric face tattoos, looks mostly human otherwise.
Mary Allen.
Maybe.
Well, to have like diamonds and squares.
Yes.
Yeah.
there's a pilot. There's a Mary Allen pilot on the rebel side, the Republic side of squadrons, and she's force sensitive. And nobody knows that she's force sensitive. She doesn't know that she's force sensitive. They just think that she's lucky. But several times, she's not the squadron commander. The squadron commander is an alien that I didn't recognize. Goes by Gunny. But several times she'll break over the comms, and she'll be like, Gunny, I've got a bad feeling about this. And Gunny's immediately like, pull back now! Like, no! Force sensitives do exist in this time period. This is the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
Also, I remind you that, like, if we're going between 6 and 7, then, like, the revival of the Jedi Order is happening. It fails, but it's happening. But again, nobody wanted to be force sensitive, so I mean, I guess I don't have to worry about that. Yay!
So you're saying remake him into a Transdojian Sith?
God. No, that is not what I'm saying. You can play Darth Raptor in a different game. Darthzilla. Moving on. Darthzilla, not the stupidest Darth name to exist in canon.
That's the sad part.
There are some very bad Sith names. And then there's some absolutely badass Darth names. Like, I think my favorite one still, just in terms of name, I do like Darth Revan. Probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Got your stuff put in, Joe.
Everything but the claw attack that I get, but yeah.
So what are you thinking for your obligations?
I like the blackmail one.
The what?
The blackmail one that you'd come up with.
Oh, somebody knows. Are you only taking 10 points?
No, it's a 20 magnitude, so I can
20.
afford stuff. Because I was 1,000 credits short, so I swapped out my grenade launcher for a flamethrower under barrel attachment.
I mean, you don't have to make an under barrel attachment. You could have it wrist mounted.
It's 3,000 on its own. I don't know if I want to another one. Well, actually, it's the same cost as the under barrel.
There's a rule for this in for wrist mounted rockets in the no disintegrations book.
I love that there's a book called No Disintegrations. That's good.
Of course there is.
I mean, yes, of course there is, but, like, it's the equivalent of, like... God, it's the equivalent of, like, a Pokemon book being called, like, Not Enough Badges. Like, it's just a meme, man.
Face is a meme.
Yes, it is. You're right. So for 20 obligation... That's somebody. I was gonna say somebody knows you're a Transdoshan and wants you to do shit, and immediately Hondo popped into my head. I just fuck.
That'll be the best obligation to remove. That guy shows up right away, and the first thing he does is get dusted.
Just fucking unloads on him. God, do we want to canonically kill Hondo? No, we don't. Disney would murder me.
There's a pretty good suggestion in the Edge of the Empire rule set is if you introduce canon characters, don't make an enemy of them.
Valid.
The general rule is you can't. It's not a good idea to really change the canon, so like they'll fuck your shit up.
Yeah, no, absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
Which is why having Bo-Katan in your corner like changes the game as much as it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even a joke character like Hondo, like that would be a problem.
Yeah, for 2 hard points and 800 credits, you can get a micro rocket armor mounting.
So, Joe Gav, what about a hut?
That might actually be really good since
Like,
they to employ Transdoshans for their various things.
and huts have enough money to make that hard for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go with a hut. Let's go with why my brain sometimes, I swear, I'm sitting here going, I need a hut name like Gardula, Jabba, and my brain just went Deborah. Like fuck.
The most powerful of the huts, Deborah.
It's a Karen the Hut.
I was gonna say Karen the Hut. Yeah. Oh, that's fucked up. No. Okay, that's out of my system now. So yeah, there is a hut who knows that you're a Transdoshan, and like who wants you to do something for him, or else he's going to like go on Facebook and post about how like this big Mando with the big shield and the big gun is secretly a Transdoshan, and like he's got like, it probably wouldn't be recent because you're like, you know, you're a foundling, you've been in the covert for a while, but he's probably got like baby pictures of you, and then probably had like, because he's a hut, probably had someone like age them up, and it's a reasonable approximation of what you look like. So yeah, like, oh man, I could tie that into the hut finds out about Show, and then the hut is like, okay, motherfucker, here's your choice. Either bring me the princess, or you yourself get found out. Good luck.
Then it makes it fun to kill a hut on the way out.
Yeah, like we could have it be just straight up like a hut fight. I'm down.
Yes.
So yeah, the hut cartels are blackmailing you because at the end of the day, like you're a big ass Transdoshan, like you would be a really good like work slave, right?
Yeah.
And they're just like, no. Like and I am not gonna make these guys redeemable in any way because fuck slavers, but like we could totally have a thing where they try to interfere and you just like, you know what, no, I'm a Mandalorian now, I'm just gonna blow the shit out of them. Like I think that would be very cathartic and fun. So have you decided on a new race yet, Cookie?
I have.
Make a note of all that, Joe. Go ahead.
I'm thinking, just because there's not enough in the world, especially not enough pilots of them in the world. Let's do a Twi'lek.
Classic.
Yeah.
Okay. So interestingly, underrepresented male Twi'lek, comparatively speaking, I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could totally do like male Twi'lek pilot, sure.
Hell yeah.
Question. Do you hide your Leku, or do they just like hang out of your helmet?
Oh no. Oh no, fuck that. They hang out. I don't give a shit.
Then everybody would be like, that's a Twi'lek.
So
That's the
Twi'lek yeah, it's also wearing Mandalorian armor.
yeah.
like, do you understand how big of a deal that so is?
Yeah.
Dude.
For those at home, please explain.
If they know what you are, that's like it's like a sin in the Mandalorian religion. Like it's you can't do that and be taken seriously.
I mean, you fair. You right. You fair.
I mean, you could hide it under a cape.
It's true. We could hide it under capes.
Or
and just having
It's like still attached to the helm.
it's still attached to that. Like there is another option, but like they're not like they're like the Leku are sensory organs, right?
Yeah, it's like I think part of their brains are in their Leku.
I was gonna say you could just cut them off if you want to be a hard ass about it, but yeah, if it's got your brain in there, then you can't do that.
No, we don't need no brain. We just fly.
I need to look this up now because I need to be sure.
Can we? Could you like put them up in a bouffant and then put the helmet over that?
Could do that.
Although I think they're like really sensitive. But I swear, I thought I'd seen. I thought I'd seen Twi'leks with. Go ahead.
Okay, apparently they don't. I'm not reading anything about it having part of their brain. I think I might have heard that offhand. But they are very sensitive, and they can cause severe harm to a Twi'lek if they're like damaged.
If you want to be like really hardcore, you could have them removed when you were like a kid.
Legends canon is it contains part of the Twi'lek's brain.
Legends canon. Like you could have them like trimmed like Hellboy when you're really young. Go that route with them.
Could do that.
That's something that I never understood about Twi'leks. Like the Leku, as I understand them, are really sensitive, and yet they wear them bare all the time. And I'm just like,
oh, well, let me give you a bit of information about that. They're highly sensitive, but they are also considered status symbols.
Right, sure, but like even status symbols, like wearing them bare is like asking to be injured. And you know that is language of victim blaming, and I don't mean it that way, but like for example, my eyes, like my actual physical person eyes get injured a lot because my eyes dry out and they split open. I'm gonna stop right there. The point is I hurt my eyes a lot, so I fucking cover them. Like
yeah,
right now I'm wearing a pair of glasses to help me see and a pair of goggles to protect them. Like I never understood that about Twi'leks. Like, sure, it's a fashion symbol. You can make, like, ways to protect them that still looks good and integrate that into your culture. Like, it just seems weird to me.
Doesn't it?
The point is, like, you want to go Twi'lek? Really?
The more I'm thinking about it, the more Hellboy-style Twi'lek actually sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's only the very top portion of the Leku that houses the brain.
So if you trimmed it out,
having trimmed down Leku would absolutely be fine.
It would hurt like a bitch.
Yeah.
And the nerve endings would be deadened. But if you did it when you were really young, like when you took the oath, right? Like
yeah.
It probably put you on the floor when you did it, but
Oh, certainly.
Absolutely.
Though, like, but, like, that's the thing. Like, jokes aside, if you did this in a Mando covert, right? Like, take the oath, sedate the child, right? Knock him the fuck out, remove the Leku, throw him in a Bacta tank. He'd probably survive that.
Yeah.
It would just be like because of the mutilation, without your helmet, like wind causes you pain.
Yeah. And well, that's why, the tendons of the way, keeping the helmet. and stuff,
Yeah,
and-
a bit, yeah.
yeah.
So you would be so your like one of your obligations could be like a disability.
Yeah. We can do that.
Because you don't get the sensory information that a Twi'lek does, and it's like a detriment.
Yeah.
So
Let's do it.
maybe like even more so than the other ones, like maybe your helmet is like sealed. Like I imagine like Sho probably just has like a stormtrooper helmet, right? But but Kuga might have like a space helmet, right? Like it
Like-
seals to the neck to protect your head.
Almost like,
Mysterio.
yeah, kind of like Mysterio.
Yeah.
I like this. I like this idea.
Cool.
We're gonna do this idea.
Cool. So it's not gonna matter because you're covered in Mando armor. But like, out of curiosity, what color Twi'lek are you?
That is a good question. I'm gonna figure.
What's the rare one? Orange? I think orange is the rare one.
Red is the rare one.
Well, yeah.
Red is a mutation.
I think red is a Sith mutation specifically. No. Wow, I'm a dingus. I almost said, no, that's not true. Shak Ti is red. Shak Ti's a Togruta. You fool.
which I believe are related, but
Yeah.
What, Togruta and Twi'leks? I don't think so.
I'm right.
Yeah.
No, it's just that Togruta also have head tails, but they don't work the same way.
Yeah, they don't work the same way. And they're like they're more like a conjoined mass than the individual Leku.
Yeah.
I actually think Togruta are cooler looking than Twi'leks, personally. What are the I've only, well, I don't know if I've only seen, but the male aliens, they have like the judges like braids, and then they have the big horn spikes down their chest. Are those male Togrutas?
Probably.
There's one that's a senator. He's like a big dude. He's got blue skin. He's got the two like shoulder spikes, and then his head, and his head's like tendrils look like a 1800s judge with the big powdered wig. I don't know if he's a Togruta or not.
I don't know.
Regardless, Twi'lek pilot, Twi'lek like disabled pilot. So that's definitely 10 of your obligation right there. What were you thinking for the other 10?
I think keeping the responsibility.
Okay.
Just having a strong sense of responsibility for the coven, or for the covert, and for everyone in that covert.
Fair enough. So, okay, so we've got kind of an idea of our obligations. We've got kind of an idea of like our characters' skill set, minus Squeaky, of course. So then the next thing is to talk to the players, and we don't have too much more time in this session, but I do definitely want to do my DM diligence, as it were, and say, like, when it comes to the way, when it comes to Edge of the Empire, when it comes to tabletop gaming in general, let's just take a minute and make sure that we're all telling the same story, and that I don't do anything that you guys don't want me to do. So, is there anything in particular that you guys do want to see in a given tabletop game, or especially in this one? And is there anything that you don't want to see?
Okay with anything, because I have not done something like this, so everything is a game for me.
Fair enough. Anything you don't want to see? This is always a difficult question, especially on camera. So I'm gonna start this off, make this easy for you guys. Things that I make a point to avoid, if at all possible. Torture on camera. The dark side of the human condition. So, bullying in all forms, slavery I tend to avoid, unless, like, slavers are getting got super hard with absolutely no redemption whatsoever. Racism, sexism, I'm not interested in that stuff. Depictions of, let's say, adult situations, be they consensual or otherwise, I tend to avoid just in general, but especially the latter. And for the former, it's a fade to black kind of situation. I understand that, romance happens. Less so in Odeon, but still, those types of things I will generally avoid writ large. For this in particular, I'm kind of with the suggestion in the Edge of the Empire books. I'm going to avoid canon characters. I'm going to avoid the main Star Wars story, because that's not our story, and it's not something that I want to have a fight with lawyers about, and also I don't care. So, specifically to this, we're not going to see Darth Vader show up. We're not going to see R2-D2 show up. We're not going to see Luke Skywalker show up. If the First Order shows up, we're not going to see Kylo Ren. We're not going to see what is his name? What is the alien? The leader of the First Order?
Snoke.
We're not going to see Snoke. We're not going to see Maul. Bo-Katan is a character that is in canon. Yes. I would argue that Bo-Katan is a very minor character, and the most we're going to see of Bo-Katan, full stop, is either on a comlink or, the very last scene, Bo-Katan shows up and, takes her helmet off and is like, "So, what have you got?" And then we cut, and that's the end of the story. That is the most we're going to see. So I'm going to be avoiding that stuff. So now that the air is clear, what do you guys think? So Joe's up for whatever. Fair enough. Vader, is there anything you want to see and anything you want to avoid?
Okay with most things, and I basically have same restrictions you do. Yeah, that's I'm not super.
No particular story beats you want to see?
Not off the top of my head, no.
All right, fair enough. Cookie?
I can't think of anything particular that I would want to see or not see, so...
Aside from what's already been covered, I assume.
Yes.
I mean, and that's fine. I guess, supposedly, the things that I want to see. Star Wars is about starting small and ending big, and I have never been one for the ending big story. But, I'm willing to try, and I do have some plans for all of this. We'll see some familiar locales. We'll see some homages to things in the galaxy that we understand. And that's always my challenge when I do an Odeon or any story, for that matter, that is based loosely or heavily on something else, I want it to feel like that thing. Do I want someone to come away from an episode of The Way and be like, Season 3 of The Mandalorian? No. No, I do not. I do not want that. But I do want somebody to come away from an episode of The Way and be like, that was Star Wars. It might be shitty Star Wars, but I want them to be like, that was Star Wars. One of my proudest moments as a DM was I got licensing from CD Projekt Red to do the video game version of The Witcher in a tabletop game. That's a standing thing. Due to player conflict, we couldn't keep it going, and I would love to revisit that licensing somewhere down the line, but we called it Dice-Icive Action Silver and Steel. And after episode 1, I wrapped the show, and my players, before we wrapped up like the call, my players were like, hey Kit, thanks for like a really good like Witcher thing. Like we were playing Witcher. That was awesome. And that's stuck with me. Like that's what I want to do. And so my goal here is like I don't want to like usurp The Mandalorian or anything Disney's working on, but I do want my players and you in the audience to come away from this and be like, yeah, okay, that was Star Wars. That felt like Star Wars. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it because, again, I'm a bad Star Wars fan, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Other things is, like, I definitely want to show struggles and triumphs of the individual characters. That's why we talked for so long about the obligations. Like, that's a big part of Edge of the Empire, but also, like, it's a part of, like, my storytelling is to focus on the characters. And the idea that I have is so character-centric that I need to have all of this ready to go. And I think, yeah, like, it could come up that, like, once an episode, or even, like, an episode where we have so little time, comparatively, to do this, like, an episode could be about a character. Like, everybody would be involved, but, like, there would definitely be times when one character shines more than the others, and it's up to me to, like, showcase that, and at the end of it, like, give them their triumph or their failure, depending on how the story goes. Definitely something that I need to be cognizant of. So that's going to be interesting, as well as the overarching plot that I have, which, again, inspired by two things that don't seem to go together, which is The Mandalorian and The Last Guardian. So we'll see where it goes. That's what I got. Does anybody else have anything to bring up? Anybody need help with anything? Anybody, like, want to clear up anything? Anybody have anything they just want to discuss before episode 1, which will be next week?
No, I think I'm good.
I'm pretty.
Cook?
Sorry, I'm pretty alright for now.
Alright. Well, then I think that's gonna be it. We are down a player tonight, so when we actually go live, there will be a player that we did not showcase here. Or a character, rather, that we did not showcase here. But, yeah, the next time we meet, the next time you see this screen, we'll have Kugazil, Shosal, and, have you decided on a name yet, Jogath?
Yes.
What's your Transdoshan's name?
Arcos.
Arcos. Nice. We'll be up and coming. Something for the players to think about while we're gone, and something to work with me on, absolutely, is like any named NPCs, especially at the beginning, that are like very relevant to your characters. Also, what planet are we starting on, and why is it not Tatooine? As well as where we're going. I think that's more of a me and Vader discussion, of like, I need to find a planet kind of out of the way that I can utilize, or make one the fuck up. But the last thing I want to do, because Star Wars is so big, the last thing I want to do is be like, okay, so you go to this planet, I just made it up, its name is Yavin. And then Vader goes, you know there's 3 movies about Yavin, right? I'm just like, fuck! Like, I don't want to run into that situation. So we need to work on that a bit as well.
There's
we need
plenty
to
to choose from.
Sorry?
There's plenty to choose from.
Yes, there's plenty to choose from, and we'll have that all sorted for next time. Anybody got final thoughts before we wrap up?
This is gonna be great.
I believe you mean this is the way.
This is the way.
I've already got a really good suggestion that we can talk about.
Okay. Well, let's do some shout outs and let's do that. So, that will be our session 0, but of course we have some friendos here, and you guys absolutely deserve your time in the spotlight. So, Gentleman Jogath, why don't you give us a shout out?
I do things and stuff sometimes, and that's about it lately.
I mean, fair enough. Cookie?
Sometimes I do stuff and things. Too.
Hey, what up? I'm Cookie, also known as the Stink Bacon, on just about every other platform. I do a lot of tabletop stuff, and love all of it. If you do too, my DMs are always open. I
Hey,
lurk around it. What's up?
Just quick question. Are you sponsoring an Odeon this year?
I am still in decision time with that. I know that there is a little bit of time to figure that out. More than likely, yes.
I mean, have you signed up to sponsor one this year?
I did sign up, yes.
What month did you have?
I believe I have August.
Oh, wow. So I need to talk to you after Shy. Okay. Noted. And then, of course, Journeyman Vader, give us a shout out.
Hello, everyone. I am Journeyman Vader. I am a modder on Kit's Discord and Twitch, and a streamer on Twitch myself. You can catch me over there at twitch.tv/JourneymanVader and on Twitter at VaderSidious.
If you need anything Star Wars related, and I certainly need help with Star Wars related stuff, Vader is definitely the one to go to. And remind me, Vader, didn't you want to do an Edge of the Empire Odeon at some point?
Eventually, yes.
Yeah, you're on my wait list, I think, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, alright, cool. For my part, as ever, I am the sharp-eyed Kitsune, the teller of tales and the weaver of mysteries, the masked bard. This is a channel that is devoted to lore and storytelling, world-building, role-playing, and discussions of those things. So if that's to your fancy, you're in excellent company here, and I do hope that you enjoyed your time with us. This has been Session 0 for the upcoming Dice-Icive Action Open Dice Night for March and April of 2021 called The Way. If you want more tabletop shenanigans, we'll be back tomorrow with another episode of our long-running campaign that will hopefully continue. Dice-Icive Action Voices of the Mountain, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition module playthrough double feature of Ram of the Frost Maiden and Storm King's Thunder. Stop by if you like tabletop role-playing games, or if you don't know if you like tabletop role-playing games, we'd love to have you. As far as the afternoon stream goes, I'm gonna try to get back into Hollow Knight tomorrow, but I don't know if I'll be able to. I hope that I will. We'll see where it goes. But if not, I'll get back on Hollow Knight on Saturday and hopefully get a full stream weekend. I've been sick recently, for those of you who may have missed that information, and while I was able to do a full stream yesterday, it beat me over the head, so my strength isn't fully back, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough strength for this show. For now, it's time for me to get out of here, but when I do, I'll be hosting someone. It's someone who I like, someone who I hope that you all will like, and can spread some of the love that was felt here today over on their channel. And check back here, because I'm always hosting someone, and you might find your new favorite streamer that way. For now, though, as always, it's time to leave you with these parting words. From myself, my keepers, and those joining me on the stage this evening, to all of you, the regulars, the followers, the newcomers, and the lurkers, whether you're just having a seat by the fire or you've got a running tab at the bar, remember, there's always more stories to tell. And hopefully, I'll see you all next time for the first episode of The Way and a new chapter. Good night, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, and hope to see you again soon.